So we're looking forward to this one, to starting off today's Invest UAE, a paradigm for prosperity, why the UAE is an investment haven. And from its strategic location to its robust infrastructure and investor-friendly policies, in this first panel of today, we're going to ask why the UAE stands out as the ultimate destination for business innovation and also growth. With the panelists that we have on stage today, we aim to uncover the unparalleled opportunities and endless possibilities that await those who dare to dream big in this dynamic landscape of success. We welcome to the stage, and we'll get an applause at the end, Charbel Fidel, the partner of Galadari Associates and Legal Consultants. Thank you so much. Haya Day, the Business Development Manager for Shura Management and Consultancy. Thank you. Hans Larsen, the Manager at the Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy. Thank you. Rajesh Somali, the Chairman of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in the UAE. And we also have Vinaya George, the Commercial and Business Development Manager for Keyzad. Thank you so much. Can we get a round of applause for our panelists, please, to start off today? Charbel, you're first here, so we'll ask you to grab the microphone. Starting off today with a simple question. The UAE recently climbed 3 international places to secure the 7th position in the IMD World Competitiveness Rankings of 2024. In your experience, what are the key factors that make the UAE such an amazing location for business and investment?
Good morning, everyone. Nothing new for UAE to be doing like this climb. Definitely there are key factors for UAE to be always growing. It's better? Okay. I think the geographical location.
Hold it like this.
You have definitely the infrastructure. I would also think about security and safety. You have this amazing number of free zones, which is everything is happening online and the streamlined process. You also have like this dual jurisdiction, whether you have the common law from one end and you have the civil law jurisdiction from the other end, like for the IFC and ADGM. You can opt in for a common law jurisdiction or onshore for a civil law one. So, all these factors contribute all together, and the different laws that have been enacted in UAE in the past like 5 to 6, 7 years, which are like at a high worldwide standard, they are all like contributing to effectively enhance the infrastructure and to effectively attract investors and investment and incorporation in the UAE.
Yeah, and I think there are going to be themes that we will hear a lot of across the day. Haya, in your work with Shura, I want to know from your experience, we know about the opportunities, the legislation, the infrastructure, but why do you think the UAE has this incredible support, almost a cultural support of people that are looking to take a chance and try and make something of their dream?
So first of all, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Gulf News, for hosting this event. Now, for answering your question, as Charbel said, yes, UAE is a strategic geographic location. So if I'm talking about why is that, first of all, UAE or UAE government gives a lot of support when it comes to the rules and regulations. They ease the policies for the investors, for entrepreneurs all over. So they make it easier for them whenever they want to set up their company. Yes, they can do it online, they can do it remotely without the presence. Yes, we also see that the networking events that happens, the conferences, the programs also that supports the entrepreneurs, it makes it very fruitful for them, because today, if we're seeing the UAE, in every month you have an event happening almost every week, if not twice a week. So these events actually help investors to connect with each other, build a great networking group, let's say. They understand more about the laws in UAE, about the commercial laws. They build their own businesses as well, partnerships. So I believe these events as well helps a lot when it comes to the setup.
Thank you very much, Haya. Hans, you're working for the Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy. If you can test that mic to make sure that one's working. We're going to hear a lot about free zones, but what is specifically, do you think, is it about free zones that contribute to driving along the UAE economy?
So, first of all, thank you. Is it working? Yep. All right, fantastic. Thank you for having us here and for this amazing event. The free zones are one of the key driving factors for the UAE economy and Dubai's economy as well. I'm part of Dubai Chambers of Digital Economy. What we're seeing is that the initiatives and the amazing work that these free zones are doing all across the UAE is not just helping to drive the economy, but also attracting foreign direct investment into the economy, which is very important, of course. With this foreign direct investment comes talent, comes technology, comes know-how, comes new skills and processes, which is just amazing for the economy.
Thank you very much, Hans. We've got Mickey as well. My apologies for the incorrect introduction. Mickey Bhatia, the founder of Elevate Trips. We've heard about free zones, we've heard about infrastructure, but what specific policies do you think the UAE attract for investors? We know we've got these, this infrastructure and this culture, but what are the specific policies and how do you feel regulatory frameworks in the UAE support both the local businesses and also further foreign investment?
So basically, there are many investor-friendly policies already in place. As also mentioned, there are a lot of free zones, which are one of the lifelines of the country. And it becomes so investor-friendly. You come in and this is a absolutely important destination between the East and the West. And that contributes to logistics, it contributes to technology, and travel, and all sorts of particular investments that can be made in this region. And Dubai UAE rather, has been one of the most innovative areas. So it says it all.
Also helps when its reputation begins to attract the best that are looking to come here. Thank you very much, Mickey. Vinaya, thank you for being patient down the end. Vinaya, looking specifically, the UAE has outlined, despite its success, a fairly ambitious strategy that it's looking forward to. It wants to double the contribution of the digital economy to the GDP to 19.4%. How do you think that the Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy supports these objectives? What is it doing, essentially? It's got this grand plan, and I can see Hans might even chip in here at the end of your answer. What is the country doing to support these aspiring entrepreneurs to explore the opportunities within the digital economy?
I think that one was for me. I'm with Dubai Chambers, Dubai Chamber Digital. I'm happy to cover it. You're welcome to pitch in as well if you want it, but if that was intended for Dubai Chamber Digital Economy. So one of our mandates is to grow Dubai's digital economy, and with a quite ambitious target, we're actually looking to double it over the next 10 years to almost 20%, 19.4% over the next 10 years, which is very ambitious. Why is this important? Well, those of you from the region probably already know this, but those traveling from abroad, Dubai, for example, we don't have a lot of oil and gas. Some of our neighbors do. So we're dependent on good old-fashioned business, and we really want to grow the advanced business, advanced technologies of the city and of the region. And part of this, of course, is the digital economy. So to do that, Dubai launched the D33 Economic Initiative, which is a very important part of Dubai's economic development under Dubai government and Dubai Economy and Tourism. For those of you who are not familiar with it, you can actually Google it. It's online and publicly available. It's a D33 Economic Agenda. And that very clearly lists a lot of these amazing initiatives that Dubai is launching to double the growth of the economy. But if you look at the digital economy specifically, this is our bread and butter, what we're working with every day. First of all, we want to encourage business growth locally. So we try to work as much as we can with local businesses, and we're mostly tech focused, so we work mostly in the technology sector to help them grow and expand, not just locally, but also regionally and globally. Because what's good for them is good for Dubai, is good for the UAE. We also work a lot on encouraging high-tech companies to set up in the UAE and Dubai. And to do that, we have to ensure that there's an amazing ecosystem in place, that there's fertile grounds for them, that there is ease of doing business. UAE is already ranked 16th globally in ease of doing business, which we're very proud of. And we're doing everything we can to make that even better and make it easier. And a huge component and a critical part of that is, of course, the free zones. We work very closely with the free zones. Dubai has quite a few, over 30 with the last count. And they're really an important part of our ecosystem. A lot of the companies, they choose to set up in the free zones, and the free zones are doing an amazing job with both attracting them and helping them grow. So we do a lot of partnerships, events, initiatives with the free zones to encourage this. In addition, we look at training, we look at development, we look at providing research, and we have our specific program called Business in Dubai as well, which is intended for both international companies and local companies for ease of setup and business development in Dubai.
I knew I should have asked that question to you. Thank you very much, Hans. Vinaya, we'll get to you on the end. Thank you for being so patient. And your work with Kazad, you're both a free zone and a domestic industrial zone. So therefore, how does Kazad and the group contribute to driving both the Abu Dhabi and the UAE economy?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me here. Thanks for the opportunity. So let me just tell you what Kazad is. Kazad is Khalifa Economic Zone Abu Dhabi. There's been so much of conversation around free zones, and I think, like His Excellency said very correctly, we evolved. We are not just free zones, we're economic zones. We help businesses set up in Abu Dhabi, and we've created quite an impact in the last many years. For us alone, we have 12 economic zones in Abu Dhabi, which spans about 550 square kilometers. This is roughly 55% of UAE's industrial area. And with the global businesses that we have in our zones, we're talking about a GDP contribution of roughly 129 billion dirhams. We're talking about 165,000 jobs created within our zone. So this has huge impact, and this is the growth that we have seen in Abu Dhabi and the UAE. And this has come with a lot of specific infrastructure that has been laid out, the transportation networks, the ease of doing business, not to mention. So all this put together, and I think Kazad has significantly contributed to both Abu Dhabi and the UAE, and we continue to contribute to that effect.
Now, just staying with you, I'm conscious to ask, in your work with Kazad, what sectors or industries are you focused on attracting, and what incentives are available to different businesses within the sectors that you're attracting?
Sure. So as Kazad, what we aim to be is actually a global platform for industries. So whether you are a startup or you are a manufacturing or a logistics entity, well-established entity, we have a space for all. But specific sectors, here we're talking about Abu Dhabi's predominantly been with the oil and gas, so the machinery and the equipment sector has grown really well. The logistics has grown really well. The oil and gas polymer industry has grown. But also now with the food industry, the pharmaceuticals, the automotive, we have economic clusters that are developed specifically for these sectors because every business is different. And our zones are catered to every single sector. And then it comes to the incentives, right? So what is specific to one industry may not fit another. So we have zones where tax is exempted, or we have special incentives on tax. We might have another zone where your utility tariff is what is a concern, and we might have special incentives for that. So each zone has special incentives, and this is what we call as business evolution. The zone has evolved to meet every business needs. And again, like you rightly mentioned, sir, I mean, it's about every challenge that we've built out as an opportunity. So yeah, that's some of the sectors and incentives we work with.
Thank you very much for that, Vinaya. We might get one of the microphones down here because I want to ask, oh, you've got one here as well. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Haya. Shabil, you touched on it briefly. Going further, in your experience, how have the recent efforts to streamline the legal systems in the UAE facilitated foreign investment and business growth? And can you perhaps elaborate on how the streamlined legal processes contribute to investors coming in with confidence to do business in the UAE?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said previously, I mean, many laws have been enacted in the UAE recently, and all these laws are interconnected some way or another. I mean, as everyone else said, to do business now, it's becoming very easy. I've been in UAE since 2008, and I work also in other countries in the region. And like every year, especially, for example, in the last 2 or 3 years, to incorporate a company in UAE, it's becoming such an easy process. You submit whatever documents you want online, you get a response rather fast, you know exactly what is the procedure, what are the information, what is the timeline, what are the fees, and everything is like given, and it's easy to communicate with the client and even with the officials. And also, I mean, other initiatives that have been in place is relating to the visas, which is honestly has been a great leap because we receive like a lot of inquiries about the investor visa, the golden visa, the green visa, the freelance, and all of these like elements are definitely contributing to the growth of the UAE and to keep it as an attracting place for doing business.
Any specific visas that are proving to be, or is it really the reflection of the UAE that it's not just one visa, there's a visa tailored to everyone's situation?
Like definitely the golden visa is the main visa and everyone is asking about it and everyone wants effectively to pitch in and to hold a golden visa in order to do business in the UAE and to stay in the UAE.
Thank you very much. Haya, I'm interested about a lot of the particular foreign investment. According to a recent report, over 6,700 millionaires are set to move to the UAE this year. I'll say that again, 6,700 millionaires that are going to be investing all that money into the local economy, which is great for us. But specifically, which sectors do you see the investments flowing into? What are the millionaires seeking interest in?
That's a great question. So to be honest with you, the first sector which will come in my mind is the real estate and property development, because the high net profile clients or the high net investors, they are looking for something luxury properties, and they are looking for a return on investment, a high return on investment. Now, if you look at the history of Dubai, how it developed since the 70s until today, we see that there is a huge development, and this is something attracts the investors because they see there is always a place where they can develop a property, let it be a hotel. If I'm talking about tourism, for example, tourism, hospitalities, there would be like luxury resorts, five-star hotels. So these two sectors, I find it very interesting, and these are the things which I face also on a daily basis. So that's why I'm giving you these live examples. I also find the e-commerce sector is also booming because of the online shopping trends everywhere. Everyone wants to shop online, of course. So I see also e-commerce as one of the activities which also people go for. Technology, definitely there, because now we are in the digital era, where of course UAE, of course, like the initiatives of Digital Dubai, Smart Dubai, all of these initiatives, and that's because of the technology, the AI, for example, what else? Like, yeah, artificial intelligence, all kind of technology which supports Dubai of being a digital country.
Yeah, no surprise that real estate is still the main target. And I think also, you know, when it comes to the digital economy and digital marketing, I come from Australia where there's traditional media, newspapers and TV. And I think that not having those long-standing heritage BBC-style entities, I think allows for more acceptance of people that are publishing and are working on their social media. It tends to be that it's far more accepting because, like what you said, every business now needs to be good with their socials and digital marketing. Hans, I've already got you two questions, so I'm going to skip you one, if that's okay, and I'm going to move on to Mickey. Broadly speaking, if someone's looking to come here to be an entrepreneur and come to the UAE, and we've heard about these opportunities with visas, with free zones, with opportunities in real estate, but what would be the main piece of advice you would give an entrepreneur who was planning to start a business in the UAE?
One of the things that I would say that you have to be planned in which sector you want to get into, because this country has got so much to offer, and it can be sometimes a bit overwhelming when you look at the opportunities. So one of the things should be that you should be very focused in what you want to achieve and in which area you want to do your business in. So that would be one of the advices to the investors that are coming in. And perhaps one very important thing is that this region and our country actually provides the biggest ROI in this region compared to anyone else. So you do have that particular opportunities sitting in various sectors.
Yeah, we often speak about all the success stories, but you know there are people that come here that aren't successful. Rather than focusing on that specifically, what do you think we can learn, or what do you think new entrepreneurs can learn from entrepreneurs that may have come here and not been as successful as they hoped?
Well, as a matter of fact, you can learn something which, you know, how to explore and get new opportunities, because UAE has always been something which has been exploring into new areas. I mean, they do things which have never been done before. I mean, a classic example of that is building Burj Khalifa. It was never built before. So yeah, so you can actually take a look at something like that.
Okay, thank you. Oh, okay, thank you. You get that question addressed to you all the time as well, do you? Hi, okay. Well, we'll come back to you. Thank you, Hans, looking at you again and your work for the Dubai Chamber of the Digital Economy. Looking at your work specifically, we've spoken about the initiatives, but what do you think when it comes down to the initiatives of the Dubai Chamber when you're looking forward to your roles and also your goals? Digital is so open and is forever changing. What is right today is out of date in 3 years' time. How do you plan and create the right advice for new entrepreneurs in such an evolving landscape?
That's a great question. So technology is constantly in flux. It's constantly changing. So trying to keep ahead of it can be a challenge. So what we do is we rely on the experts, and the experts are you, the tech companies out there, the entrepreneurs out there. You're the ones inventing the new technology. You're the ones bringing it to market. And then what we see in the UAE and Dubai is a willingness from the government to listen to the entrepreneurs, to the businesses, and find out what needs to be done, what regulation needs to be developed, and then work with the private sector hand in hand to develop the right regulations, the rules, and make sure that there is a fertile ground and a greenfield marketplace for these new technologies with opportunity to grow and test these new technologies. And part of this is also making sure that there's not too many roadblockers in the way, not too many regulations that will make life difficult. But on the other hand, make sure that it's still safe and controlled while still giving these entrepreneurs a chance to shine and develop.
I think that's always a key thing, having that support, because it can be a lonely experience. We do have word that Rajesh Somali, the chairman at the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in the UAE, if he can be here. Can we give him a round of applause, because he's finally made it in. He was delayed due to circumstances outside his control. So we do thank you. We've reserved prime position for you in the middle, so don't feel any pressure to be a part of here. Thank you, Rajesh. We do appreciate your time, and we'll get that microphone on, because in your experience working with the ICAI, you're working with so many chartered accountants in India. What do you find challenges between, obviously, people that may have their CA from India or other countries, and then they look to come here? Have you found, since perhaps the introduction of taxation, there's been a boom, there's been far more opportunities with people that are qualified as accountants to come to the UAE? See if we can get that one on. If not, hands can pass.
First of all, sorry for joining late because of the road accident. I stuck up. If I understand your question about the taxation which has helped to the UAE or not, I think this is one of the enablers. You cannot give the full credit to the taxation. And if you ask me the one line that what made the Dubai or UAE as an investment hub or investment, I must say that the vision and the visionary leadership of this country and Dubai is the main reason of developing Dubai or UAE as an investment hub. All others are like policies of the taxation or giving long-term visas, creating best infrastructure in the world. These are all enablers, but it all comes from the leadership vision, how they want to make this country or the city. So their target is that it should be the best of the world. So I think that is the main reason. Yes, taxation point of view, according to me, this is still the most efficient region in the world. And the other advantage of the taxation, which is going to give the biggest benefit to this region, is that it will develop the matured banking and financial sector. It will improve the governance part of the business as well as the implementing authorities.
I mean, just staying with you, Rajesh, we've seen the introduction of taxation, and we will be focusing on taxation in some panels later on this afternoon. But when we're looking at new businesses that are coming here, what's the one mistake entrepreneurs often make that you find in your experience with taxations when they come to meet with you?
Pardon me again.
What are some of the mistakes that new entrepreneurs often make when they're starting a new business that they don't understand about the tax system?
As I told you that this is overall ecosystem of the place or the country that made the investors attractive place. Suppose if you have a zero taxation but the other ingredients are not available, like the UAE has taken steps to provide the 100% ownership to the foreign companies. This was again the biggest enabler for this country to attract the millionaires of the world. If I am not wrong, more than 7,000 millionaires have shifted their base to the Dubai or UAE after the COVID. The COVID also played the biggest role according to me because it was a new challenge for every country, and every country has a handle in a different manner, like Singapore, China, India, they have. But Dubai UAE model has turned out to be the best in the world, because they safeguard their residents, citizens, and as well as they kept the things going on. This developed the confidence in the biggest player of the world that this is the city where you can live, you can prosperous, you can operate your business even during the challenging time. So this was the guest, again, in my mind, I am in Dubai since last 31 years, but this was the one of the, you can say, the most attractive decision maker for the world leaders or the business leaders to at least have a place of business in Dubai where we can work even during the pandemic.
I think
that was the turning point for this country or for this city.
Yeah, I think many people do agree, certainly during those years, the way the country was able to rebuild and refocus and look forward, and it's certainly been a tremendous opportunity. Vinaya, to you on the end, working as a sort of a business and development manager, we know a lot about the UAE, and obviously tourism is a big part of the industry. Are there any specifics to tourism that you're finding in this boom every year of people that are looking to come here, that are looking to drive more investment across Abu Dhabi and also the UAE?
So again, coming from an industrial zone background and economic zone, right? Tourism is always a part of the whole economic development plan of any emirate, right? Economic development is about creating more opportunities, ensuring there are more jobs created, and ensuring the right tourists and right influx is in. One thing I see echoing across the panel is this, right? Business success matters to UAE, and everything is driven from that success point. What makes a business success? What does it require, whether it is regulations, infrastructure, connectivity, and how can we drive businesses into the UAE and create your success? Your success is our success. So that's the theme behind everything that we do, and that's the whole, the foundation of how we do things.
Thank you very much, Vinaya. We do have an opportunity. If anyone does have some questions for our panel, we've only got about 5 or so minutes with this first panel. Joe, where is our man? We're looking for Gordon, who's obviously roaming around. So if anyone does have some questions, don't be afraid to raise your hand to our panel. Chabel, going back to you, for entrepreneurs that are looking to come here, I'm interested about intellectual property protection and their IP. If you're a new entrepreneur, you're coming to the UAE, in your experience, what advice should new entrepreneurs take to safeguard their own innovations and their own brands?
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, UAE has signed most of the treaties related to intellectual property, and the main two ones are the Paris Treaty and the Berne Treaty. And they relate to IP, copyright, designs, and one thing very important in the UAE, you have to register your IP in order to be protected. It's not just using your intellectual property, you have to register it. And once you have registered your IP, you will have the exclusive right and you can protect it and have like all the contractual arrangement, whether it's a non-disclosure agreement, it's a franchise agreement or a licensing agreement, to effectively leverage on this IP and maybe also obtain finance on protecting this IP. And also any infringement, once you register your IP, definitely you can like file a case, or whether it's a criminal case or a civil court case. So I can definitely say that once you have your IP registered with the Ministry of Economy, then you will be fully protected and you can enter with a contractual arrangement that will be beneficial to your business.
Is it often a challenge that people and investors come here and they're still thinking about how the law works in their home country, and when they come here they don't understand that no, it's not quite as simple as that, or that law doesn't apply to the UAE?
It's not as easy as it may sound, because as I said previously, like many laws have been enacted in the last 5 years. And when you want to come here and to do your business, there are definitely some questions to be asked, like what type of activities do you want to do? Do you want to incorporate onshore on one of the free zone? Is it in a financial free zone? Are you going for a common law jurisdiction, or you want the civil law to apply? So all these questions will have to be raised before effectively venturing into an incorporation. And also, I mean, will it be a straightforward incorporation, or more of a complex structure where you will have like anti-dilution clauses, classes of shares? So all of these questions should be asked prior to doing any incorporation and starting your business in the UAE.
Okay, thank you very much, Shabel. Anyone got any questions for our first panel? We have one question down the front here. Gordon might grab the mic there. Thank you very much, Vinaya. If you'd like to just state your name first, please, and then the question.
Good morning. My name is Zubair. I work for the Free Zones Authority of Ajman. My question is to Charbel about the bankruptcy law that was launched in 2023. And there's a lot of talk in the market in terms of its impact on the businesses and how it has empowered people to kind of take more risks in terms of how they envision their growth. So my question is around the bankruptcy law and its importance and its impact on the businesses.
Yes, thank you for that. I mean, yes, it has been recently enacted and it replaces, I think, the bankruptcy law of 2016. It's very important because it also introduces many new aspects, especially regarding restructuring and voluntary restructuring, which is something that companies, especially if they found themselves in a distressed situation and they cannot pay their debt, to effectively apply to the court and have their business restructured and the payment of their liabilities like restructured. And also other key points in respect of the bankruptcy, the managers of companies. I mean, while it's very nice maybe to be mentioned as manager on the trade license of the company, but there are a lot of liabilities that come with that. And if the company is bankrupt and the management wasn't doing the job correctly, I mean, they might face liability, and they can also be like personally liable for whatever the company situation it found itself in.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that question. Anyone else have any question? Gordon, I think we've got one over on the far side. We've probably only got time for one or two of this first panel, so.
Good morning, everyone. Shakil here. I am a consultant at Ahmed Al Agubri Chartered Accountants. I have one question for Mr. Hans. As you have kindly mentioned that you have a plan to grow double in next 10 years. So we would like to know that what key initiative you are taking to make it double and for attracting investment. Thank you.
So key issues to attract investment.
Yeah, key initiatives, right? Yes. So thank you for that question. There's quite a few. The main one is an overall Dubai agenda. If you go online and look at the D33 economic agenda, you'll find a lot of these initiatives right there. And then you can specifically identify the ones who are linked to the digital economy. But a few examples could be, for example, helping the tech startup sector, helping the technology startups grow, both attract from abroad and help them grow and develop locally. Also for the larger size tech scale-ups, as we refer to them. Make sure that the ecosystem is strong and that we have a strong value proposition as well to attract and compete against other regions of the world for attracting top talent and attracting these tech companies to set up. Also, unifying the ecosystem. Dubai and the UAE has a lot to offer, and it's important that when companies come here and set up that they have a vision of all of that, so we spend a lot of time working on this. And it could be anything from incubators, accelerators, support networks, events, conferences, access. There's a lot of things that Dubai has and the UAE has to offer in this regard. So I would say as a first step, familiarize yourself with the D33 economic agenda. A lot of the government entities, local government entities in Dubai are focusing on them through various aspects, so that's a good place to start. Also familiarize yourself with the ecosystem partners and players. You're welcome to have a look at our website as well, Dubai Chamber Digital Economy. We have some great research and as I mentioned as well, we have the Business in Dubai program that can help connect companies with the ecosystem, both our corporate service providers that can provide discounted services to companies, both coming from abroad and locally, but also help with potential business-to-business matching, which can be very valuable for companies in this regard. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah, so that's why you work with the Chamber. You've got experience and you've got people in the know that can always help you out. I think we might have one final question from the doctor who's in the front. Gordon, if we can just get down here. Probably got time for this to be the last question of this first panel. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Isa Al-Bastaki from Yusuf Dubai. Well, if I look at the theme, it says why the UAE is investment haven. Now, the question is, what is it that UAE stands alone? Is it the ICT infrastructure? Is it the business infrastructure? Is it the financial infrastructure? Is it the inclusivity? Is it the tolerance? Is it the happiness agenda? I mean, it's something that stands alone. What is it that keeps people coming in to do business here? Just I need your thoughts.
We might go to you, Haya. Well, in your experience, what do you think that it is that is there one single element that attracts people and investment to the UAE?
So thank you for the question. To be honest with you, I wouldn't say one element. I would say the fact that all of these are combined in one country. The fact that the UAE is not only a low-rate corporate tax, but also it's an income-free. I don't have any taxes on my personal income, which is great. I don't find it in any other country. The great infrastructure, the great technology, all of these together combined in one country for me is why people always keep coming to the UAE.
Yes, thank you very much. You continue, Rajesh.
Hello. I have to say again, one sentence, in which I normally tell my business associate or even the counterpart in the country or outside country in Singapore, etc. Dubai or UAE provide the best of the East and West. You have the luxury of the West and the tradition of the East. Both combinations are such a rare combination where you find advance of the world here and at the same time the old heritage or the traditions are also here. So people feel comfortable and the best of the living and business situation here.
I was expecting, okay.
No, sorry, Doctor, yes, before we get to Hans, you wanted to... Oh, no, we might get the answer from everyone as well, if that's the case. Hans?
Just a quick one to add on what my dear panelists are saying as well. And maybe to quote His Excellency Ismail from the keynote, I love this quote, the UAE, and I'm paraphrasing, embracing the UAE as a startup. There is an amazing sense of opportunity here, of entrepreneurism, and that the sky's the limit. And I think that really attracts a lot of people and entrepreneurs from around the world.
Thank you as well. Mickey, any thoughts about, is there one particular aspect?
I think as Mr. Rajesh rightly mentioned, that we have the combination of the best of the East and from the West. And UAE has constantly been innovating in multiple areas. I mean, be it real estate, be it fintech or logistics, this type of, infrastructure investments. What more does an investor need to invest his money for? So I think it's a perfect platform for that.
Vinaya, your experience, anything you'd further like to add? Is there one aspect, or is it a combination of everything that it's greater than the sum of its parts?
So I think I have lived my entire life here, and for me, the happiness and the safety is beyond, I think, what you can experience anywhere else. I think all that you've said just culminates in being very, very comfortable here in terms of both safety index and happiness index. So that's my bit.
And lastly, sorry, before we get to Charbel, yes, Rajesh?
Further, I came in 1993 in Dubai. And that time there was hardly, you can say, dozen or 2 dozen Fortune 500 companies were having offices here. And if you compare today, there is hardly any company, which Fortune 500 company, which does not have office in Dubai or UAE. So the test of fooding is in eating. And in a layman's words, if you ask me, what investor need to come in on any place? First, he wants his 100% ownership of the business, which UAE provide. He wants his own house or living offices, Dubai provides. Freedom of hiring the talent, etc., which Dubai provides. Most important that even when you are earning money or you want to use anywhere in the world for the new venture or new project, Dubai provides. Most tax efficient business country in the world. And top of that, safety and security is among the top world class. So all ingredients are there. And top of that, now new technology developed, AI, digitization, which enable any business house to work from the remote or work from the different part. So Dubai is having the world-class infrastructure, whether it's a communication, connecting. I give you my example. I was supposed to ship to the Singapore when I heading the trading company. But then I compare, the Dubai is connected with directly all major cities of the world. 159 cities do Dubai Emirates has a direct flight, which does not have even in Singapore. So your connectivity is very high. Your all ingredients are there. So there is now hardly any reason one person would ignore for taking decision to have an office in Dubai or have a business in Dubai or elsewhere else.
No, I think they're two key points, safety and also location. Did that answer your question, Doctor?
Well, I need to add something for sure. Mr. Rajesh said it earlier, but he didn't say it again. Actually, it's the equation is all of the above. I agree with you completely. Everything you said is correct. But one thing that stands alone is the leadership of the country. That's the main success story of
Well,
UAE.
the thing is, I was going to ask Charbel. He was going to say the leadership of the country, weren't you? So that you've beaten him to it. Yeah, thank you very much. We do want to give our panellists, this first panel, a round of applause. We do thank you to Charbel Fidel, the partner of Galadari Associates and Legal Consultants. Haya Day, the Business Development Manager from Shira Management and Consultancy. We do have Rajesh, who jumped in the middle. Thank you for coming in last minute, the Chairman of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in the UAE. We have to thank Hans Larsen, the Manager of the Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy, Mickey Bhatia, the founder of Elevate Trips, and Vinaya George, the Commercial and Business Development Manager at Keyzad. Thank you very much. Could we give our first panellists a round of applause? We'll ask you to come to the front of the stage, please.